Welcome to the Rather Be Golfing Podcast. My name is Josh. I'm with Sean, Just a Tip, Rip, and we got a new guy today, Mr. Mark Lennon.
Mark,
what's up, buddy?
Welcome to the program, bud. This is
Gentlemen, it's good.
It's a close friend of mine, a Chicago sports fan, self-proclaimed club tour aficionado, Mark Lennon, calling in live from Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee.
It's good to be here. Long-time listener. Always wondered what occurred in the 5 seconds leading into, oh, yeah. Being on this end of it was a special treat. So glad to be here, guys.
Happy to have you. So the weather is a lot better in Nashville. You actually get to play golf there. It's a little too cold here. How's that going?
That's exactly right. Probably could have gotten out a couple times in January. I've had sort of a love-hate with my own golf game the last 4 or 5 years. So that mood has to kind of strike me, I guess. And this Monday, work was a little slow. It was about 60 and sunny out with the holiday, and went out to a public track, played 9 holes. Actually, Sean, I don't know. I mean, I could dovetail so many different ways here, but I walked for the first time and I couldn't even tell you how long. Loved it. Like, I can't believe how much I loved it. I might be a walker now. Pushcart guy.
It kind of gives you like the chance to appreciate, savor the round a little bit. So you're not just hitting a shot, getting in the car, going on the ball, hitting a shot.
Yeah, you don't feel like a lazy fuck. You're actually exercising.
Yeah. I mean, and you guys actually exercise, so you're kind of used to the moving around and stuff. For me, I get a little sore, but I still appreciate it myself.
I tracked. I think I walked like 4 miles, just like 3.5 miles and 9 holes. I'm going to definitely do that again. And also, like, I found myself really getting into just a rhythm, like a shot rhythm. I don't know. I've had some like personal golf goals for the year and maybe finding my swing a little bit. And I thought that walking really enhanced the feels. Maybe it was just the good vibes of the first round, but I didn't even play that well. I just thought I was getting into a good process. So
I kind of know what you mean. It gives you a chance to think about the last shot, think about the next shot, like, which could, I guess, be a good thing or a bad thing if you're, thinking about your swing a lot. But
you
get into a rhythm.
The other thing about the golf down here and the weather, I'll call it an off season or the winter season, is, the courses are open year round, but they get real browned out and hard, which actually, I don't know, I kind of prefer it. Just when you can play the ball down on the ground, like along the ground a little better, and maybe gets you in the mindset of just advancing it forward. Like as novice as that sounds, I just recall whenever golf courses, I don't know if this is the case right now for you guys up there or what, like the status of golf courses being open. But what my recollection from the winter being in Illinois was whenever the courses were open, it's just wet. And so you're just kind of like hacking it a little more than you can here. You're just not taking beaver tails or anything down here in the winter, which is really nice. Like when you're rolling off the couch after 3 months and you're not worried about chunking it 10 yards.
It's always a good feeling.
Actually, we just played in Austin last week, which we're going to talk more about next week. We were there for Kobe's bachelor party, but it was kind of the same. With the ground was kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like normal season. Yeah, I mean, it was burnt up a little bit, but
it's probably similar to what you're experiencing. Obviously, you're not as far south, but the terrain was probably somewhat comparable, I think.
But I like golf this time of year because, like, there's no expectations. You're not trying to fucking go crazy low. Like, you're like, I'm just going out there to play. Unless you're Sean Rip, because he has to shoot a 70 every time he plays.
Yeah, if you're Josh, you go out and you pick up a set of, discount $40 1993 rental clubs, and you shoot 78 on a brown course that you've never seen before.
I want to hear about the Austin round, but I think some of my better rounds that I can think about were with somebody else's clubs or rental clubs or whatever. I don't know what it is. It just kind of like resets your mind a little bit, I think.
I mean, no expectations, really. It's probably what it comes down to.
Yeah, you don't try to overthink it. You're just going with the flow. I'm like, you're in a fucking random place playing. You're like, I don't even care. You know? Most likely hungover.
How's the golf scene in Austin?
We only played once, but
Yeah, we just played the one time. The course was okay. It wasn't anything crazy.
short. But
Short course. It was good for a bachelor party because it was wide open. You don't have to worry really about losing balls because you're only buying like maybe a pack between the group, you know? So,
well, I actually went equipped with a full box of Pro V1s, but I brought them on the plane.
you brought a full box?
Yeah.
You were expecting a good round, huh?
I didn't come home with a full box, but I brought one. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I can't enjoy myself if I'm hitting a rock, you know?
True.
So, Sean, I got to ask. All right, so you guys knew you were playing just once. Did you bring your clubs or not?
He wanted to.
I did. I would have if I had the option, I guess. I guess, yeah. First of all, we split it, you know, we got a driver to take us to the airport. So
We had 5 guys.
It was like it was an SUV. We had 5 guys, our bags, and it wouldn't have worked. I couldn't have fit a golf bag in there.
Sean would have had to take his own Uber, you know?
I was looking at ship sticks. Like, is it worth having them shipped there?
Pay $100 to use your own clubs once and then again to get them back.
But it was kind of a scam because on the website, the course said that they had 2 options for rentals. One like regular option, which for shitty clubs, and then an elevated, you know, more expensive option, which I assumed were premium clubs. And then we got there and it was just like, here you go. They didn't give us an option or anything.
Yeah, like people had like 3 gap wedges. So
he had a slightly better, but we were in the same card. He had a slightly better.
Yeah, I had a set of Cobras, so they weren't terrible.
Yeah.
Cobras are the classic, classic rentals.
I mean, everyone else had like Stratas, you know, like that $200 bag you can just buy in hotels or whatever.
Just a putter that's made out of like, I don't know, looks like something somebody made in their ceramics class, in their high school ceramics. Like, there's no face in the putter. There's no insert in the putter face. And
despite this, I'm going to assume you're getting extra pissed still.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was having a good time.
Hey, you weren't bad. You weren't bad.
The driver actually was a TaylorMade burner, and I was hitting the shit out of the driver, actually. We had I was using most of his irons and stuff, so I'll say we had a 55-degree sand wedge with a graphite shaft. It's like a women's flex or something, and that was giving me some problems. Like, yeah, it was always an adventure, more so than usual. When I got within 100 yards, Josh played pretty good.
Those women's flexes are super forgiving.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a women's flex or not, but it's when half the bag is steel flexes, and then you got a couple of women's flex in there, and I don't know. I've never hit a
that thing was bendy though. That was pretty fucking bendy. I've never.
Did you had to feel like you were gonna break it? Look at your arms, man. Like,
yeah,
dude.
And I have a tendency to hit the ground too. Like my miss with my wedges, especially, is to hit it heavy.
It definitely went like 15 yards shorter than a normal 55.
Yeah, I had one approach shot with like I was like 80 yards or something, and I hit my 56 105 or so usually, and I hit it really good, and I thought it was going to be like 5 yards right of the pin, and then it just like hit the front of the green and spun off the green. But yeah, you can't really expect to. Not going to play the best round of your life, you know, with a rental set.
It was looking pretty good to begin with. I mean, I was 1 over through 9.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on?
I'm like, this game's easy.
Yeah. How did that even happen? I guess, I don't know.
Well, I thought the back nine was
putts? I can't even really.
I was just chipping very well. So, like, I was just chipping in gimmies. I had 2 birdies on the front, too. So,
yeah, that'll help.
I know. I was about to steal. I was about to steal the Cobra putter though. I was putting that thing pretty nice.
It was nice. Yeah, it's similar to the putter you have. It was a little heavy.
Yeah,
kind of one of those. It wasn't a mallet, but it wasn't a blade. Kind of like I don't know, pointy.
Dude, I need a putting lesson in the worst way.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a weird transition because I used to putt like a hockey style, like Happy Gilmore, like straight up, like hand all the way down the shaft.
What?
Yeah, like crazy. So then I got like this extra long putter. Now I'm kind of transitioning back to the normal putting stroke. And
when you say you have an extra long putter, you don't actually mean like a belly putter.
No, it's not a belly putter.
It's like 30, probably 36 inches or something. I think the standard putter length is like 33. It's long.
It might be longer than that. Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah. I kind of like it. I once infamously made an offer.
Should have took it.
To Josh to, I don't know why I would ever do this, to trade because I was putting really bad at the time. Worse than usual even. And I offered him my Scotty Cameron Newport putter, like, I don't know, $300, $400 putter for his Tommy Armour, just because I liked the feel of it, that it was a little heavier. And
my putter was like $115.
Yeah, he could have took the deal and then sold that putter and bought like 3 of the Tommy Armours. He said no. He's mystified. He doesn't know what to say.
Putting is one of those things for me that about 5 or 6 years ago, I convinced myself it's mostly luck and it's not something that you can improve on a whole lot. And that the best way to like really lower shave strokes was to get better with your ball striking, your iron game. And I could just like had a realization the other day that my putting is just horse shit. It is just seriously so bad. I don't know. I don't have a routine. Sometimes I practice strokes. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. It's a mess.
Yeah, I felt that way. But there are also days, no matter, I mean, I feel like everybody goes through these spurts. Sometimes they're putting really good, just like the rest of their game. Sometimes they're not. But there are still some days where the hole just looks really big. You feel like you're making everything. You don't know what you're doing different. You think you have it all figured out, and then the next day you go back and you can't make shit again. Yeah.
Sometimes playing on a nice course where like the green, you can.
If the greens are true, yeah. If they're true, if they're cut, if you don't have to take a full swing to get the ball to the hole.
Yeah, when the greens are aerated, you just think about every little bump this fucking thing's going to hit.
Everything that's going to go wrong that's out of your control, and it doesn't help your confidence.
Well,
yeah. It's all confidence.
I hate when I play track where the greens are inconsistent from hole to hole, because then you can't you're just all over the park.
That's the worst. Yeah,
that's a sign of a good course in my mind, where like the greens are the same from one hole to the next.
Yep.
But
it's definitely very mental, just like the whole game of golf. But like, I feel like if I'm just like, all right, this putt's gonna go in, there's a way better chance than me just like looking at it and just trying to putt it.
Also, if you look at all the different swings on tour, the position at impact, like a full swing, is more or less the same for every player. Obviously, there are slight variations in how they get there. Some people have unorthodox swings, but the fundamentals, like the top of the swing, impact, like the key spots, are pretty much the same across players. But you look at players putting, and there's just so many different ways to be a good putter. It's more, I guess, I feel like it's less teachable. Actually, in my last lesson, probably like 2 years ago now, it was indoors, so that didn't help the cause. But I asked if there was any way to go over some putting stuff, because he had a perfect putter, a little putting surface.
Yeah.
And he pretty much just said like, it's all feel. Oh, that was the lesson. I was like, noted.
Hey, here's $300.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the help.
I've never bought one of those indoor putting mats.
They're expensive too. The good ones.
Yeah, I know. And those got like real hot. What's the one that like, is it the perfect? I don't know.
The one that Dustin Johnson was endorsing.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah. I think it's the perfect putting mat or something.
Yeah, those got real hot right around COVID. Yeah. Everybody was just stuck in their basement thinking that like they could roll a ball up like a little wooden mat.
Yeah. Actually, funny story. I might have told you this. I know I've told Josh. I went through a spout where I was putting. I go through a lot of these where I was putting really bad, and I had just come off a 40 putt round, and I made an impulse purchase of I forget the exact dimensions, but I think it's a 40-foot putting mat. And it was $750, and I never opened it. It's in my shed because I have nowhere to put. I thought it was an outdoor mat, and then I didn't realize how big 40 feet is. There's nowhere to put it.
But like,
I can't. There's nowhere in my house that'll support it.
Okay. But like, even if it was an outdoor mat, what did you, were you going to roll it out in your backyard?
I don't know. I didn't really think it through. And then I was like, even though it's an outdoor mat, maybe I can put it on my back deck or maybe my driveway, because it's kind of a flat surface, not that different from an indoor hardwood surface. In terms of texture, it's not like grass or anything, so maybe it'll work. But I don't even think it'll fit on my back. I don't think there's anywhere that I could conceivably use it. I've never even tried. I never opened it. I mean, I tried to return it, and they didn't. I guess the statute of limitations, I guess, had passed, because it was over a year by the time this possibility even crept into my mind. Yeah.
So anybody listening that needs a 40-foot putting mat, we got a brand new one.
Yeah, I'll give you a 200% discount.
Dude, I've been caught in that. We've all been there. Like right now, my Twitter feed is just nothing but like different swing tips and drills that you can do. And I don't know. We've all been there. I get that.
Yeah, the big thing with that, I'm like, because when I started golfing, that's how I learned how to golf, was straight YouTube. You got to try not to bounce around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had a lesson, nothing. But you got to try not to bounce around, because you're like, you see one thing that's actually working, then you're like, oh, let me look at this guy. Yeah. Like one little transition and
mix something else in.
It just fucks up your entire swing.
Yeah, and then one guy who's giving the tips is like a 5 handicap, another guy's a pro, one guy's 6'5", another guy's 5'8".
Yeah.
Like, it's just, yeah.
That's a good point too. I never thought of that. Wait, so Josh, I got to know this. So, when did you pick up golf?
I probably really started playing in 2020.
2020?
Yeah.
And you just roll up and shoot mid-70s?
Yep.
Well, it wasn't always
I mean,
that is awesome.
How many?
I played a lot of rounds of golf.
Yeah, he averages like 120 rounds a year. More than that.
Probably not 120. That's a lot.
100?
At least 100. I play like 100 times a year. So
okay.
Natural athlete, though, this guy.
That's an insane amount. Okay, but like, I don't know, like, I don't even know how easy you could describe this, but like, what was like the one thing that clicked? Like, you just watched YouTube, like swing lessons?
Yeah.
And found like something that worked?
Not gonna lie, the guy from Top Speed Golf, I love his videos. I watched pretty much every video of his. Yeah, I don't know. Like one day it just finally clicked, just like the rotation, the pace and everything, and it just got better from there. Then playing this guy, I just had to beat him every time we played. So
but I probably started playing with you around 2020. You must have started a little before that.
I mean, I played rounds here and there, but I would play like once, maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
You know?
You were pretty good even when we started playing. And that had to have been around 2020, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, I played baseball all my life, so like I always had like that slice. Like my driver was always very inconsistent. Yes.
One of the only Go ahead.
Yeah, I played baseball and hockey, and it's like a baseball player has a slice and hockey players have a pretty wicked hook.
Yeah, and I can see that.
I constantly thought that my entire life.
Like hockey is definitely closer to a golf swing than baseball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see that.
Probably one of the only single-digit handicaps who uses a baseball grip.
Yep.
He's tried to do the interlap, tried to do the overlap.
Dude, my swing's not even that good looking. Like it's pretty ugly.
Yeah, very.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Dude,
but,
this is like Bryson. Bryson, I think, is Bryson and Bubba. Well, one of the two, but I think both are like just totally self-taught.
Yeah.
So when you swing, man, like Bubba doesn't look like anybody. So
no, I mean Bryson has a kind of an ugly swing too. Like it's not.
Yes.
It's not that pretty.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's not when you look up textbook golf swing. It's not really what you see.
But I got with my wicked slice, I got very good at scrambling, so I'm very good out of the woods. So
yeah. Now you hit a draw most of the time, right? Driver.
Yeah, for the most part, I hit a draw.
Yeah,
but
big shot shaper too.
Yeah, I like to fuck around with the shot shapes.
Let me ask you, when you're on the tee, do you ever feel like a left miss? Do you feel like a left miss is just like totally out of the question?
No. Especially now because I do hit like more of a draw, but I'm like, if there's danger left, not gonna lie, I think about hooking it all the time. Hard left. Because I'll set up.
Because it sounds like you're right there from like when I don't know. I always just think about like Rory. He'll say, I don't know why this stuck with me, but like he said back when he was playing like this mega draw, he's just like, well, I just know I'm never going to miss right. And like removing half the course is like a huge obstacle.
Yeah. That's definitely huge.
You're right there.
right there. But
he's so stubborn. I tell him he's never had a lesson. He refuses. I say, dude, the best players in the world have swing coaches. Why don't you just get a lesson? You'll probably get down to scratch pretty easily.
Yeah, because
no, I got to do it all myself. I don't like nobody asks you. People say, "What's your handicap?" You say 0 or 1. They don't say, "Oh, but have you had a lesson?" You know, like
yeah. But then you go to a lesson, pay $300, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's all about feel. Don't worry, you're good."
Well, that's putting. That guy actually, that same guy helped me a pretty decent amount. I still, if I'm having trouble, I go back to his drills that he gave me. It was pretty worthwhile investment. I think I had a handful of lessons with him.
Well, I'm stubborn and I'm broke.
You are stubborn.
Well, I think I have a love-hate with golf lessons also. Like I had a series of them. I was back during COVID. I thought, yeah, I'll take a few lessons and like keep the swing sharp or like iron out a bunch of frustrations that I had. And it totally got in my head then over the next year plus. I learned more about the golf swing and like the mechanics of how different, seriously, as stupid as it sounds, it's how different factors of the golf swing make the ball do different things. But it just got in my head so much that it fucked me for so long. I mean, I'm still trying to recover. Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, so much of it is also finding a good teacher, and that's hard to do. Like there are so many coaches out there, and a lot of them probably aren't, not to say they're not qualified, but there's a wide spectrum of teachers, and you want to make sure you pick the right one.
Everybody has, everybody has a different swing. This is why I said, like, if I could get any lesson right now, a putting lesson. Because I have no feel for that. Anyways, I didn't mean to rabbit hole that, but good shit.
It's all good. Good convo.
Yeah, and you have a 1-year-old Leo. Shout out Leo. He just turned 1. Happy birthday.
Oh,
are you going to be getting golf club in his hands anytime soon? Excuse me.
Dude, I could walk 10 steps and pick up his first one of those. I don't know if you're getting Ava involved in golf yet, but which, by the way, as a girl, probably fastest way to a D1 Scully there.
Yeah, and the best route to financial success, especially with the, obviously that's a lofty goal, but definitely more a bigger potential payoff than something like basketball, where professional players.
You can be like one of those South Korean dads that are just like Earl Woods.
You mean just like a terrible father?
But anyways, Leo's got his first set. He doesn't know what the fuck it is yet.
Yeah.
He dabbles in it.
Yeah, you got to bring him to the practice green or whatever. He'll love that.
Got to get you a kid caddy too.
Yeah, kid caddy.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah, like, dude, those the little kid golf bags. That's a hot market right now.
Very hot. For sure.
That shit sells out.
Yeah. So if you have any advice for this guy, he's going to have a son. He's going to have the club in his hand. His firstborn son is due in June.
Yep, June 22nd.
So he's going to have the clubs in his hand before he could walk.
First kid in June. Okay, I have no good advice.
Good luck.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I would say get your golf in now, but honestly, you'll still find a way.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Tell you that. Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I started playing more golf once I had a kid. A lot of that is because it was COVID and I was working from home and stuff, and it was easier.
And we have a great mother-in-law.
Yeah, so. we're blessed. Yeah, she helps out a ton.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. I knew you guys. Okay. Yeah. All right. So
she lives right down the block.
You'll find that like the newborn situation is a lot of trading 3 and 4 hour increments of time. I think it lends itself totally fine.
Yeah,
for golf.
Yeah, 3 and 4 increments. You just go pound out a quick 2 a.m. range session.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, this guy doesn't sleep. He doesn't have to sleep. He just plugs in at the end of the day.
I work midnight, so I'm used to not sleeping. Yeah. So that should be interesting because I'm going to come home from work and she's going to pass me off the baby. I'm like,
oh my God.
Then you go out to the shed, you get the kid caddy.
That's it.
And let's take the kid out.
you're prime for that. I'll say I've said this to anybody. Listen, I love the being up in the middle of the night. As weird as it was, that was like the best, man. So
in retrospect,
cool.
Yeah,
I could see that because that's like the one-on-one connection right there.
Right.
Like,
at the time, it sucks, but yeah.
Rather be golfing, taking a detour. But seriously, that like you'll look back. It's like the only time in your life where it's just yes. It's a very cool time. I like it, and I just pounded out audiobooks for days on end.
I can see that.
Yeah,
like, a lot of RBG episodes.
So you got smarter or you got dumber, depending on how much of us you listen to. But
dude. Should we talk some Genesis?
Yeah, let's talk Genesis. Did you get to watch it all?
I work from home on Fridays. I watch a lot of Friday coverage, and then sometimes it kind of slips off my radar on Saturday, depending on how. And when I say it, like the non-major weeks, I'm a casual fan, but I do like the Fridays. Friday's good vibes, good. So I watched Friday. I think when was Tiger's withdrawal?
That was Friday,
like
right?
Middle of the day Friday.
Yeah.
Because I was at home, and
I think did he finish the Friday round? I don't.
No, he got carted off. Like, did you?
I know there was an ambulance waiting for him at the clubhouse, but it was towards the end, right? I mean, he played most of the round. He wasn't going to make the cut, right? Do they have a cut in the elevated events? Do they have cuts?
There was a cut, but it was very hard not to make the cut. Like,
yeah.
I think only 10 people missed a cut or something.
I saw
that's exactly right. But JT missed.
Yeah, he played like garbage. Yeah, I had him on my team.
The background to that is Tiger would only host an event if there was a cut. So he said that he demanded that his event have a cut. So it's the only elevated event. I think this is what it is. It's the only elevated event with a cut, and it was within 10 shots or top 50, and anybody within 10. It was whatever the Masters cut rules are is what Tiger went with.
Got it.
So, yeah, but like when Tiger withdrew, I thought he was like crying on the cart. And anything with Tiger like that, I don't know. Your mind goes to some dark places. At least mine did. It's
he's not even now that he's lightened up a lot and he's more, I guess, affable and media friendly.
Yeah, everyone thought he was hurt that bad, but he probably just shit his pants. That's why he was crying. I don't know. He had the shit so
yes.
He might have shit his pants.
Didn't he say something about that?
He had the flu.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you guys?
He made a joke. He made a joke about that, though, right? Or maybe he wasn't joking. But
wait. Did you hear the background too? I think you were going to get into this, but this Spieth had half the field had food poisoning from In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, that's what it was from.
I did see. So I thought it was a joke, though.
Yeah.
So that's why Spieth was scrambling and he didn't sign the right scorecard, or he didn't. I mean, the caddy keeps the score. Maybe the caddy was sick.
It was. I can't remember one of the guys that Spieth was playing with. It might have been Xander or Morikawa. I might be making that up, but it was somebody like that. And they said that somebody said that Spieth was like running to the bathroom a bunch, to the porta potties in between holes.
That's got to be rough.
And he was just like, and if you look at his round, he started a couple under, and then he just like you could just tell I think he shot like 39 on the back. He was rushing through what I guarantee that's what happened, but like somebody said something to that effect where like he just was in and out of the scores tent, signed a card and was like, get me the hell out of here.
Now that you mention it, Tom Kim almost missed his tee time. I think it was on Friday.
Yeah.
So he was probably on the toilet.
No.
They had a video of him running off the tee and shit.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
He was, as he's running through the practice green to make the first tee, someone recorded him saying, like, I just
don't go in there for a while. I was wondering why he was holding his ass as he was running. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, that was exactly it. It was In-N-Out Burger. He said something. Tom Kim was the one who said something about In-N-Out Burger. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, man. I hope nobody wore light pants. What?
What'd you think of the whole Spieth debacle?
I think it's bullshit now because, like, they have the score already recorded on TV. Fucking like,
I think that's a popular take.
Yeah,
it doesn't
give it the times. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty odd. You'd have to be really stupid to try to cheat on purpose. Obviously, it's a mistake. People make mistakes. Like, or I could understand maybe a 1-stroke, 2-stroke penalty, but what if he was contending for, a top 10 spot or something, you're going to take away $1 million payday from the guy because he made a mistake, because his caddy made a mistake. Like, it's just kind of unnecessary.
Or you're winning the final day. You're winning the final day. You fucking accidentally fuck that up. Like,
yeah, a DQ is I feel like that's a pretty harsh penalty.
So I think that what's funny to me about it is that in order to disqualify him, you have literally someone else counting his score to say that what he signed was incorrect. Like, the only way to validate and enforce the rule is to prove that you don't need somebody like the own golfer to sign their score. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he signed the wrong card, and the only way the rule was enforced was because they have the ability to say, no, actually that was wrong. So that part's kind of
he must have felt like a dick. I don't know who his partner. Who was he playing with? I mean, I get he kind of has to blow the whistle, I guess, but
no, I think that it was like a scoring official or whatever. It wasn't like one of his playing partners.
Got it.
But I think the rule is one of those golf rules that has existed for 150 years, just because that, like, golf rules are sticky like that.
Yeah, do
you know how many, like, I don't know, Sean, if you play, I don't know, did you play high school golf or anything?
I did for a year, yeah.
At the lower levels of golf is so rampant that, like, I understand on, I guess, a fundamental level why the rule exists, because it is like the bastion of golf, signing to your score. And I think a lot of guys would stand behind that. But I think that at the professional level, dude, when, like, I had Spieth in DraftKings last week, and I'm not, like, trying to, but, like, I don't know. It doesn't sit great with me that I'm getting bombarded with, like, gambling ads in between commercial breaks, and something that impactful can happen.
Right.
That's so innocuous.
That's not part of the. It's not part of the algorithm when you're trying to pick players. Where you're, it's not. It's kind of stupid.
It's just like, I don't know. Like, I think that it's just absurd. Like, it is truly like an only in golf situation. But it is. You're right, Josh. It's absolutely like the vast majority opinion of casual people who were, like, tuned into that last week were just like, what the fuck?
It's absurd.
He took it in stride, though. He handled it really well. He was.
Well,
I mean, obviously that's the rule, but he made jokes about it and stuff.
Yeah, whatever. I'll get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say I actually really like Spieth. Like, going forward, I think Spieth's primed to have a big start to the season, at least, or like when people are starting to get locked in with, like, the Players and the Masters. Like, he's slowly trending. I'm buying a lot of Spieth stock going forward, despite that. So
I like it. We were talking about putting stroke. What about Willie Z? I'm like, that guy had, like, the worst putting stroke in 2023, and he went to that chest putter like you were talking about.
I thought they outlawed that.
No, you just can't put it against it.
Yeah, you can't have it in a fixed position at the top.
I actually saw someone ask him about that, because if you watch him, like Willie Z, like, he's one of the only guys who blatantly holds the broomstick away from his body.
Yep.
So there's a couple guys that are a little bit nefarious about it.
Yeah, like Adam Scott is pretty close to his chest when he does it. Like,
it's like
he's like wrist is touching, like not fully his hand. Like,
dude, it's like a pendulum. If you have it, like, stuck to your chest and it only moves two directions.
You used to be able to fix it, right? I think you used to be able to use it as yes. Right? Not too long ago, probably 10, 15 years ago, you could. They had belly putters. They had this one that you hold up here, and I think you could fix it on your chest, but I don't know. I guess they changed that rule.
I think it changed, like, maybe 2 years ago. It's pretty recent.
Is that recent?
It's like one of those rules where, like, golf announces a rule change that will go into effect in, like, 4 years.
Yeah.
And that was one of those rules. But no, I like Willie Z a lot too. He shows up on hard courses. Like, he's one of my favorites. Like, he's seriously one of my favorite guys. He I don't know. I hope he has a good year. He had what was his injury? I don't even remember.
He had back surgery, so like
it was pretty serious.
Yes.
yeah. So that's tough to come back from. So hopefully he has a good year.
Yeah, but one of the best ball strikers. The question's always been his putting. So if this new putting, new putter or whatever, new putting, maybe if he figures that out, he could be dangerous.
Yeah. That's what the disappointing. Did you see it when he had the standard putter? He was doing that figure 8 over.
Yeah, and like the PGA Championship, man. Like it looked like he was so nervous bringing the club back. It was like everywhere
on like 2-foot putts.
Yep.
He said it's by design, but it just looked so terrible.
Yeah.
It's legitimately like any of us being out there when he's inside 2 feet.
Yeah, like when they show the angle from ground level right behind the putter, it's hard to watch. Yeah. Like that's not what the club is supposed to do.
I don't know. He was sniffing around a bunch of majors for a while.
He got second or third in a few, I think, within a 2-year span.
It was in like back-to-backs.
Well, JT came back in the PGA that 1 year.
That's right.
Yes,
yeah,
and took it from him.
That was the year where Mito Pereira shit the bed, I think, or was that the Masters?
When Mito was electrocuted on his 18th tee shot there.
Oh yeah,
that was hilarious.
His fucking driver swing was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
just hit a fairway finder.
Yeah, and then he just went to live.
So bad.
So he said, "I never want to feel that kind of pressure again." He just went to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, no, I haven't heard that name in a while, Mito. And then what was the other one? Oh, Matt Fitzpatrick at the U.S. Open. He was, I don't remember if he was in. Yeah, he was in that group. He had like a putt to tie Fitzpatrick on 18. So
yeah, you forget.
Was that when Fitzpatrick hit the fucking
bunker shot?
The bunker shot.
Yeah.
From,
yes.
Yeah, that thing was insane.
Really, nobody does remember who got second.
No,
because all of these, the bunker shot. Obviously, everybody remembers. Everybody remembers even the Mito Pereira. Everybody remembers the blow up. People remember the Thomas one, but I know that Zalatoris had some seconds and he contended, but can't really recall, tournaments. But yeah, he's a guy that definitely has the talent to win as long as he stays healthy.
He's my go-to, Sean, in DraftKings weeks. Whenever the over-under for the winning score is pretty low, and it's like everybody agrees it's going to be a really hard course, I love Zalatoris because he's ball striking, man.
Is he cheap right now?
So pure. What's that?
Is he cheap on DraftKings right now? Coming off the injury?
He's mid-tier. Like, he hasn't been, he's certainly not where he was.
Yeah. So definitely probably high ceiling, yeah.
But I think his price has been taken up the last few weeks. Or the last few times he's played, I guess.
Yeah. Also, kind of related, but going back to Tiger a little bit. Did you guys see him shank the shot on Thursday?
Oh, yeah.
On I think it was 18. Just a dead shank.
Happens to everybody.
I loved it.
Not supposed to happen to him.
It's like the most reassuring thing of all time when pros do that.
Yeah,
I love seeing. It's so reassuring.
Yeah, the difference between somebody like me doing it and somebody like him doing it is he still shot one over, and
yeah,
I'll shank it.
What's impressive to me is whenever a pro does that, they always hit great recovery shots. Like, I would be an absolute mess standing over the next shot after that.
Yes, especially having thousands of people just watching you too after you just did that. Like,
yeah,
yes,
they've hit
and you're carving out a lane to after doing that you have to hit through. Dude, the ability to shake off shots, that's a thing that I absolutely can't relate to.
The thing, especially with Tiger, though, he has such a good understanding of the golf swing that he probably knew exactly what he did wrong.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Exactly, and just knew what the fix was. He was probably like, "That was such a dumb mistake. I can't believe I did that," and just knew exactly.
He talked about it.
Well, he was trying not to shit himself. That's why. Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Anybody's going to shank it if they're fighting back diarrhea.
That's got to be the worst feeling in the world. When you're on the golf course and you got to take a shit and there's nowhere to go.
Ugh. Yeah.
And imagine your back is fused together. Like, his spine muscles must be totally out of whack.
Yeah, his leg. Yeah, he's like bionic basically at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just rooting for him to finish a round.
I know.
That the further away we get from it, that 2019 Masters was one of the biggest miracles of all time.
Yeah, for real.
Dude, it was insane. Yeah. Was it 2018 or 2019? 2019?
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got engaged that day.
That's crazy.
Did you really? Oh, so you're never going to forget it.
I'll never forget it. And I knew it was like meant to be because my now wife was getting home from a road trip with friends, incidentally, to Nashville at the time. And I don't know if either of you remember, but it was like they had bad weather in Augusta that week, and they moved up the tee times on Sunday. So the final group went off at, I don't even remember. It was like 9 or 10 a.m. And so the whole day set up perfectly for me to watch the entire Masters and still get my shit together to propose.
So you're coming off a real high.
No, that was Tiger winning the 19 Masters peak day of my life.
What are your thoughts on the new logo? The Sunday red.
Man. It's so objectively shitty.
So the same as everybody.
It's one of those marketing decisions that makes everyone collectively ask how it got made. I don't know if it's just something. It might be like a really interesting mass psychology experiment if people eventually get on board with it. But the logo itself literally looks like the carcass of the Slazenger logo.
It does,
like,
yeah.
The old,
yeah, discount Slazenger logo. Yeah.
But it's like a skeleton of it.
They have to do. I mean, I guess maybe it's not quite as relevant as it would be for a TV show or something, but wouldn't they do like polls or some kind of a test to determine how people react to it? I would think so, because that's a big part of the brand and the marketing strategy.
The test was probably like, Tiger, do you like the logo? That's about it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Have you guys seen how he, just go back in his sense of fashion his entire career? It's so bad.
It's not great.
It's like weirdly bad. It's not surprising that Tiger created something that's bad.
And they were talking about bringing those styles back for the new brand. Like all his epic wins. Like they're going to bring like those ugly ass polos back, like the style of the polo.
Oh, really? Like the baggy polos from
well, maybe 90s? Not baggy look, but like just the style in general.
Yeah.
Oh man. The polo that he wore last Thursday, the first round of the Genesis, was like a remake of the polo, like the baggy ass polo that he wore his first professional round ever, which was also at Riviera. But it looked heinous. Like I don't get it. The 3 Sunday red.
Why is Sunday is one word? Is there some kind of hidden cryptic meaning that it's to make it 2 words? Some kind of justification.
They had like the tailor-made CEO at the podium trying to explain how you golf in the sun and every day is individual on its own.
That was the explanation?
It's so stupid.
It
was seriously bad.
That's actually idiotic.
And I think the Tiger logo itself, they claim has 15 stripes representing his 15 majors.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, there's 17. I don't know. So,
I mean, the tiger, the actual tiger in the logo is not even the worst part of it for me. It's the rant, the Times New Roman fucking SDR. Yeah. It looks like
change the font up a little bit.
It looks like uneven, like something made it in paint or something.
Yeah.
The S and the S and the D, not only, in addition to it being Sunday being one word, it's the S is not even with the, or that's at least how it looks. Maybe it's some kind of.
Yes. No. You're right. You're absolutely right. I don't know. The brand.
he's getting worked up.
We could talk about this logo for fucking hours. Yeah. How bad it is.
I just don't. I guess I don't understand it. But I also know that it is going to be. It must be something. I guess when there's something that's so inherent, when there's something that's in pop culture that I just simply don't understand, I chalk it up to being old. And maybe this is something that appeals to people that aren't like us.
It just makes it easier to deal with mentally to accept.
Kennedy likes it, so I don't know. People like it out there. I don't know. People are gonna fucking buy it.
I don't know. Whatever. If it's not selling, I feel like
it's just like the hat Sean's wearing right now. I would never wear that fucking hat, but he's trying to crush it right now.
I think you look good, Sean.
Thank you. At least somebody does, yeah. And also speaking of Tiger,
Charlie,
disappointing showing, and his dad probably took the belt out when he got home.
Wait, all right. So hold on a second. So first of all, this was a pre-qualifying event to get into the qualifier for
the Cognizant Championship.
By the way, what the hell tournament is
I don't know. I have no idea, really.
I think it's what the Doral was or something, maybe. But
was it the Honda?
I'm not sure.
I think it was a Honda.
So the Cognizant Championship was the Honda another qualifier, or no? Oh, so now it's called the Cognizant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember last year they said during the Honda that they rebranded it.
It's in Florida, right? I was reading
it's the one with that par 3, right? Iconic par 3.
I don't know if it's like Miami area or Tampa or whatever, but like I was reading some local newspaper article, and apparently there was a gallery following him that was like uncomfortably intrusive. Like some grandmother pulled a little girl out of school to follow that, like so that they could literally follow them in hopes that
he would fall in love with her.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
the grandma's like quoted in this article, and people like stopping him in between holes for autograph. Very weird behavior.
Yeah,
and,
he's
the
a
whole
kid. Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
It can't be easy. It can't be easy to have to grow up with that. It's kind of like LeBron's kid, but probably
I heard a take that
he's younger.
He's more destined for, and maybe you guys can weigh in this, but like if you compare him, because he's at this point like 15, so like there are comparatives out there. Like there's kids out there his age that are really good and a lot better than him. And the take I heard was that he's destined for being what you would call a YouTube golfer.
Yeah, but that's not a bad career these days, honestly.
Nope.
That's
probably a better life. I don't know. As more and more YouTube golfers start popping up, maybe the competition's going to go up a little bit and it'll be a little bit less sustainable.
I mean, I know the guys from Barstool were talking about there's so many people that watch YouTube golf that they would make their own tour because so many people watch it.
It's huge. It's it's crazy how huge it is. But they
explain it to me, man. Like, because I just like that part. Like, it's like a total blind spot for me in the golf world. I don't get it.
I mean, it's exactly what you would think. It's just there's a wide varying level of golf being played on YouTube. Some guys are scratcher better. Some guys have played PGA Tour events like Wesley Bryan and his brother, and then you've got guys who are pretty much hacks, but they're funny. They're entertaining.
Why do you think that's so popular? I guess though.
I don't know. It's relatable. I guess they show not just the golf, but they show.
Well, especially like Bob Does Sports, they do different challenges and stuff like that. Like they got to chug fucking.
Yeah. It's they have the camera. Huge. They have the camera in the cart, and they're recording the banter from hole to hole, and obviously they edit it and they show the entertaining parts. But yeah, they have competitions. They show when they're on the road, if they're in Scottsdale or Florida, wherever they're on a golf trip. It's just watching these guys who are just having fun. They're on a golf trip. It kind of like imagine doing that with your friends, and it kind of like there's some kind of relatable element to it rather than watching these guys on TV who they're not really.
Don't get me wrong. I'm insanely jealous of the people who latched onto this idea because from my perspective, it like literally was a means for people that did this to create or carve out a career where they're being paid to showcase like golf destination vacations.
Yeah. And
that's insane.
And like the good guys, they're pretty good, obviously, and they're not good enough to play on tour or anything.
Oh, dude, I saw one of those guys in that, like right outside my work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who's the tall, skinny kid?
There's a couple. Garrett. and Grant wasn't good, but he went on his own, I think. But those are the two. I mean, they're good, but they're not like that funny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'm not really a big fan of like good.
But
like,
I do watch. I don't watch as much as I did a few months ago. But
like, I watch Bob Does Sports because my guy's funny. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's hilarious. He's probably the only 12 handicap golfer that's sponsored by Callaway.
Yeah, and then you've got the foreplay, the Barstool guys, who are, one guy says he's a 5, but I think he's worse. And there's like a 10, and I feel like there's so many different types of, I guess, different content that people are looking for. There's something for everybody as a golfer, so they're not even really in like close competition with each other almost. There's so much to go around.
Let me ask you, do you guys find the like these series of I don't know if it's like a TNT owned, but the match where it's, I don't know,
it's gotten terrible.
Who's been involved. It's a little watered down, I think.
Yeah.
I watched it more when it was Tiger versus Phil with like Brady and who else?
Brady and
Manning, right?
Yeah.
Like I watched that one. You got one coming up. You got
they don't even have pro golfers anymore, though, do they? Or the last one didn't.
This one does.
I think.
Who the fuck's in this?
I think it's like Max and Rose Zhang,
Homa,
the Stanford. Yeah, Max Homa.
Oh.
Yeah, and Rory and.
That's a pretty big star power.
There's another girl. Who's the American girl? I know like 3 women's golfers. Korda.
Yeah.
Nelly Korda.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not. I don't know. I didn't make a point to watch the last edition of it.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I was just like more trying to draw a distinction between like the appeal of the YouTube.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some influence in how they show, in the cart and stuff, and they're showing bets and whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of influence there from the YouTube brand. Just because now they're aware that people want to see that stuff. Yeah. But at the same time as the Charlie Woods event, there were a number of YouTube golfers trying to qualify for this. What was that? The Myrtle Beach something?
Well, no, they're qualifying. That's May.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's in May.
That's right. But that news just came out recently too.
Yeah. That kid, Grant Horvath, Fat Perez.
Micah Morris. Like a bunch of YouTube guys are trying to qualify. I think they're going to have to shoot like 64 or something based on, I guess, the previous, maybe last year's thing.
This one skipped. This one missed me.
but they're actually... it would be cool if somebody actually does, but
Grant Horvath is good.
Yeah, he's good.
Like, he actually has a shot.
No, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Micah is very good too. Mm-hmm. He hits the ball like 360 yards.
Yeah, crazy.
I think he's probably a plus handicap. But yeah, I think all of those guys have probably shot 64 at some point. I'm sure. I think Fat Perez said that he had too, which I was a little surprised at. But that's a low number, 64. But
it's very sobering to understand or like get a sense for like seriously how many good golfers there are and where you are on the spectrum.
That's why
no matter where you are.
That's why the career as a YouTube golfer is probably, maybe the ceiling is not quite as high financially as playing on tour or whatever, but you don't have the stress and you're making a good amount of money and you're actually enjoying what you do. I wouldn't imagine 90% of professional golfers are grinding out a life on a mini tour, just trying to pay for their travel expenses and stuff. Imagine having a family with that kind of stress.
Yeah, now you just videotape yourself drinking on a golf course, and playing. Yeah. You get paid.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't believe
Sign me up.
We missed the boat. Yeah.
I know. In retrospect, everything seems to like, how did we not think of that?
I know.
Just like Uber, like if you would have told me, if somebody would have pitched Uber to me 20 years ago, I would have been like, that's insane. Like, are strangers going to come pick me up and I'm just going to get in his car? But now getting a taxi cab is insane.
Bob and I had a professor our last year of law school this was 2014, and she was going on and on and on about Bitcoin. And I think about that all the time.
Yeah, one of my friends who I know him from poker, but I've known him. I met him in like 2010. He was shilling Bitcoin on Facebook as far back as 2013, when it was probably like $100 or something. And then I remember it went up to 400, and he's like, "It's still early. It's still early." I was like, $400 for one Bitcoin. How much higher could it go?
I know.
You know. And now that guy lives in like an $8 million house. Yeah, he's so rich. He was hanging out with 50 Cent the other day. Insane.
I was looking at the stock market, and I'm like, oh, I want to invest in something. I'm like, look at Tesla. I'm like, Tesla was like $200. I'm like, oh, that seems like a lot. And turns out it went up to $3,000. I'm like, I'm fucking I'm like, fuck.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Well,
also, so I guess we'll talk about LIV a little bit. There was no tournament this week. I know you're a big Anthony Kim guy.
Yes.
Have you heard anything about, so there was some speculation that he's going to sign with LIV in time for the tournament next week, I think, the first weekend in March they were talking about in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, my understanding was that it was going to get my understanding. The last I heard was that it was going to get announced at some point this week or like the last week of February. Anthony Kim is like he was like the dude at the very fringes of when I started actively following golf. And I was in college, and I think he shot like 63 or back 930 or something like that. Back 929 at the Masters, his first or second appearance there. And like, dude, it was just like swaggy, like big ass belt buckle.
Yeah.
I think he took down Sergio at the Ryder Cup. Like, he was like the dude. And then you guys talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it a little bit. But, and this is back when everybody dressed like David Toms. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, everybody was like guys who were 30 years old, they looked like they were like 45, and they dressed like they were 45 back then. There wasn't that many young, brash.
The advancement in golf fashion between 2000, like it really in the last 20 years is, I don't know, one of the best things that's honestly happened for golf, really.
Yeah, it's improved drastically.
Not to mention fitness, like just the quality of player in so many different ways. Like, yeah.
But I think that maybe, Sean, you mentioned when you guys were talking about it, but like I think that what had happened was he had a 10 or 12 year insurance policy that may have lapsed, and that might be coinciding with his return, and that's why.
So I read that if he comes back to LIV, he'll have to repay the insurance payout that he received, however, whatever, the 20. I don't know how much of it he's gotten to this point, but his rumored contract for LIV would be so much more than whatever he'd have to pay back that it would be a no-brainer.
That'll probably be in his contract. Be like, oh, LIV, pay for this for me to come over.
Yeah.
You know?
He absolutely still carries enough cachet that it would be like he fits within the LIV model.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he took the payout to walk away from golf, so yeah.
There's a LIV event coming to Nashville in June, I think.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty psyched about it, honestly. Like I have not found it entertaining to watch. Like, it's just not very watchable. I don't know if you guys, but by all accounts, everything I've heard is that the live experience of going to these events rules.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm absolutely going 100%.
So I know you're a big Rory guy. Did we talk about this already?
No.
So Rory's former agent, who obviously knows Rory better than any of us do, he said that he thinks there's probably at least a 10% chance that Rory could end up going to LIV. I don't know if that's based on like a conversation he had with Rory or just his past experiences with him, but that would be pretty crazy
First of all, the guy's name is Chubby. He goes by Chubby. So anybody who goes by Chubby, I think you got to take with a grain of salt. I don't know. I think for Rory, I think Rory does not play for money. I probably am the biggest Rory apologist you'll come across, but like, he's so wealthy. He very clearly when you listen to him talk, he doesn't give a shit about money. So,
but the balance and power has shifted so much where there's so much talent over there now.
Yeah, and I think that legitimately, if Rory has backtracked on anything, it's the reality that he's no longer competing against the like strength of field that he used to. And that I think is the root of a lot of like where he comes from now. And I really don't think he's actually going to go to LIV. Like, no, there's no way.
I mean, 10% is still pretty low.
I think that he's back channeling negotiations with the Saudis or having Ram on that side. Dude, he was so close with Ram, I'm pretty sure. And like when Ram left, that was the first time I think when his tone really changed. When you go back and listen to what he said about it, it was just like, well, I was going to change the rules for the Ryder Cup because he's over there. I don't know, man. Like, I feel kind of bad for him. I feel like we lost. Like, I wish he had just stayed out of it. I really do. I don't know.
Yeah, he probably does too. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, he goes to LIV.
He's trying so hard to keep the tradition alive of the PGA Tour, and it just got shattered.
Thanks a lot, Jay Monahan.
Yeah.
Like, he goes to LIV, he looks like an idiot. He stays with the tour, he looks like an idiot. Like, you know.
He was everybody's sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, he was the golden boy for a while until.
But again, I'm a Rory apologist. But seriously, he was a sacrificial lamb. Like, I don't. When you stop and think about how absurd it was or is that the players in golf are representing themselves in a way that you don't see in other sports. I don't know. They're not. This is a highly complex thing. I don't know. Rory didn't go to college. I don't know. What? Why is he weighing in on this multi-billion-dollar potential merger or whatever?
Yeah, it's true. This isn't what he signed up for.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then you got Phil Mickelson just talking mad shit about how the PGA, the competitiveness of the PGA is just fucking shot.
Yeah. I mean, it's not shot, but
I think
it's not what it was. Yeah. Nobody saw this coming 3 years ago. Who thought that this is what the dichotomy was going to look like on either side, you know? Dustin Johnson went over and it was what? And then Brooks Koepka went over, it was huh? And then now Rahm is there.
I mean, there's no doubt they have legitimate good players. The worst part is that you can't really compare because they're not earning world ranking points and they're playing on different courses and they're playing against different fields in a different format. And we know they're good golfers, but there's no the comparison of their golf versus the PGA's golf, it is different. So I can kind of understand why the world ranking points thing is such a debate.
Yeah, it's hard to. The field size is smaller. It's totally different. Totally different game.
Yes, but at the same time, seeing them I think the biggest thing that the best thing that ever happened to LIV was Koepka winning the PGA last year.
Yeah, and Phil came in second. The guys who were not doing shit at LIV all of a sudden come over, they play the majors again and they contend. There were 3 guys in the top 10. Who else? Patrick Reed, I think, had a top 10 also.
Yeah. And all this is kind of leading back to the fact that nothing that's happened so far in the last 2 years has been beneficial to the actual golf fan. Except for the majors are now a little more enhanced, even more so than what they were. And I mean, I guess that's probably the only guarantee going forward in golf is that everybody's going to care about the majors even more than they did before because it's going to be the only time where you see Rob.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone sucks, but that's a reality.
Yeah, I'm just happy they figured out a way to include everybody in the majors because everybody wants the best players in the world in those tournaments and the Ryder Cup too.
That would be brutal.
That would be brutal. That's what it's all about. Yeah, but I'm just happy that they kind of brokered at least something for those to be inclusive. Speaking of which, Joaquin Niemann, a special exemption for the most prestigious, most traditional tournament in the world, the Masters. You're in, no criteria necessary. They just decided, you're good enough. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, first of all, I love that the Masters and Augusta National does their own thing. I think they swing so much power, and they, in recent years, like they've done a lot to push along everything else. Like they're broadcasting. They're the first ones to show every shot from every player in their tournament, and it sort of forced the hand, like on all the other networks to keep up a little bit. So anything the Masters does, like I generally give deference to. And they have a history too of inviting people from around the world. So Jocko Niemann, one of South America's best golfers, he should be at the Masters. And also, Sean, I'm glad you asked, because I don't know if you ever go to Data Golf. It's one of my favorite websites. He's like, it's a way where it's a site that kind of aggregates guys on both tours and every other tour that's out there. And Niemann is like playing like a top 10 golfer in the last couple months.
He shot 59 a couple weeks ago.
All of this is a long-winded way of saying I'm happy he's got invited. I like him.
Yeah, he's definitely good enough, I think. You just want to have the
I
best
think so
players
too,
playing, yeah. What else? You want to do some Champ vs. Chump?
Yeah.
Champ versus Chump. I'm ready. I've been ready for this.
Who's gonna do the Champ vs. Chump? Kofi's not here.
Champ versus Chump. I'm not that good
That's
at
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Is that how it goes?
So we used to have a
pre-recorded thing.
We used to have an archived recording that we would use, but now we just we do it live. Champ versus Chump. I can't.
You can't do it.
Why don't you try?
This is Champ versus Chump.
He doesn't have the mic. You need to speak.
You need the mic.
Yours was good enough. All right. Okay. Who wants to lead us off here?
What do you got? You can go.
Sean, you go.
All right. I'll start with my champ of the week. I was in the local CVS the other day, and there's this homeless guy. He's not my champ, but so you grew up around here. Was homelessness like a thing when you were growing up? It's just kind of
around here, not really.
There's like two guys.
What?
There's like we're in the suburbs. There's like two guys that you recognize around.
We had this one guy. I forgot what we called him, but we call him Roach Man. My guy he hung out at the gas station. And he was just stare at the wall all day, but that was about it. We had one guy.
Yeah, now there's like two or three. And this one guy, he lurks outside of 7-Eleven, CVS. I kind of feel bad for him. He's definitely schizophrenic. He's always talking to himself and stuff. But he constantly goes into the CVS and he's like fucking with the people who work there. They're like kids. They're like high school kids. And so basically, my champ is the girl who works in CVS who told him that she was going to fucking clock him if he didn't get out. And I was like, do you deal with this shit all the time? She's like, every fucking day. And I was like, God, you're cool. And I mean, that seems like a real pain in the ass, but I would be like worried that he was going to, that he had like a weapon or something. But yeah.
This is going to make me totally rethink how, next week I'll be picking out everyday citizens.
Yeah. It changes the way you look at the world when you start. When we haven't done Champ vs. Chump in a while. We were doing Would You Rather for a while, but this experience I was like, can we do Champ vs. Chump again this week? I want to talk about this CVS employee who put that homeless guy in his place. Yeah, when we were in Massapequa, there was one town bum. His name was Don the Bum. Bob, if he's watching, he'll remember Don the Bum. He looked like
if he's watching.
Yeah, he would push around a shopping cart full of clothes. Everybody knew him. He was the town bum. He looked like Quasimodo. He had like a big thing in his back. It was also pretty sad. But he actually, there must have been two bums because he had a lady friend. I don't know what her name was.
He had a lady bum too?
Yeah, there was a Mrs. Don the Bum. They would fornicate behind McDonald's by the dumpster. And I don't know if they ever gave birth to a baby bum, but I think she died at some point. But he's still pushing that cart around. I don't know how. He's got to be, he was the town bum since I was a kid. So he's got to be like in his 60s at least. I don't know.
Has McDonald's dropped off since then? Maybe that's where they got the sauce from.
I don't know. Maybe. As far as
Champ
as far
versus
as
Chump that I prepared, so different.
but that's my champ.
An authentic experience of being on this podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk stats and golf, and for an hour, so I figure we'll mix it up. We'll give a little insight to what's going on in the real world.
Kudos to the CBS. All right, who's your chump of the week? Wait, do we all go champs?
Yeah,
we'll go champ.
Mark, who do you got?
Dude, I had Tyler Kolek, my point guard for Marquette.
Big Marquette basketball
18 assists. Yeah, big college basketball guy. If you guys want to start a college basketball podcast after this,
whose jersey is that behind you? Is that his? Whose jersey is that on the wall?
It's also a former Marquette point guard, Dominic James. It was a gift for long story, but signed by a bunch of Marquette guys. It was a gift. Wes Matthews, NBA guy. I don't know if the rings a bell.
He played for the Knicks for a little bit, actually.
Yeah. So, little fatherhood gift. Anyways, 18 assists, school record, 27 minutes, the fastest in NBA or college basketball history to reach 18 assists. So, playing shitty DePaul. Champ of the week.
Nice.
Totally different than yours.
I like it.
Like diametrically opposite of yours, Sean, which I appreciate. So,
all right. So my champ of the week. Have you guys ever seen the movie The Rookie? The baseball movie?
Of
course.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, there's a real life rookie going on right now.
Really?
This guy, Rob Semerano. He's 42 years old. He got drafted back in the day, and he's now throwing 101 miles an hour.
Holy shit. Did he break his arm like the kid in Rookie of the Year?
No, he didn't break his arm, but
101 at 42?
He got divorced, so he started throwing again.
No, his arm got really strong because he was, spending a lot
of He started throwing again as therapy, and turns out he can fucking throw 100 miles an hour now.
And he never could before when he was
he was throwing mid-90s.
Holy hell, that's crazy.
Wait, so and this guy's in camp or something?
He's trying out. He has two tryouts lined up.
Tryouts?
Yeah, he's going to tryouts. Hopefully he gets a spot in spring training.
That's actually that's the plot of The Rookie. Mm-hmm. What was his day job?
They just said he was a youth baseball coach.
That's literally the movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah. No, it's a good movie too.
That is a good movie.
All right. You guys won this round. Love this. Okay.
All right. Let's Uno reverse it, because I got a couple of chumps. I got to decide which one I'm going to take.
Mark, you can go. Who do you got for your chump?
You guys have seen the absolute fiasco going on with the Major League Baseball uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
My chump of the week is Fanatics, the worst organization in the universe. That's all that needs to be said. If you've seen the story, you've seen the story. These uniforms are just absolutely atrocious. The numbers are small, or the names on the back are so tiny they look like you ordered the jerseys on China.
You could see the jock strap through the pants, right?
They're fucking terrible, man. Everybody, the pants are see-through. It's a travesty. And what's worse is that you go into any MLB team store, attached to a stadium or nearby, the jerseys are retailing for $170. They're terrible jerseys. So if you're going to buy Major League Baseball jerseys this year, dhgate.com or whatever, get them for $30. They're just the same. It's fucking terrible. Fanatics,
stay away from Fanatics.
I fucking hate Fanatics. Sorry.
Fucking chumps. I don't really have a chump this week. I was just going to say Kennedy because he's a chump every week, but... And he went to Montauk, son of a bitch.
All right, I'm going to pick you up here with two chumps.
All right, who do you got?
Okay. Chump number one, retired NBA player Matt Barnes. Have you read the story?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so this guy was known during his career for being he probably is one of the only NBA players with CTE. He was always getting into fights. He was just a total thug.
I know Matt Barnes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised, actually. He was a role player. But, he was, a bit of a brawler. Actually, he wasn't a bad player, but at the end of his career, he got into a scuffle with Derek Fisher, who at the time was the coach of the Knicks. He drove 95 miles to his ex-wife's. At the time, they were separated, but they weren't divorced yet, to his ex-wife's house that I guess he paid for because his kid called him or texted him, told him that Fisher was there. basically, to make a long story short, he beat the shit out of Fisher because he was sneaking around.
I definitely heard that scam.
They played together during their careers or whatever. So now his kids are, I don't know how this happened, but they're playing for Fisher. Fisher's the coach of the high school team. He's still with the ex-wife. Now they're married, so he's the kid's stepdad.
So Fisher's coaching high school basketball now?
Yeah. But that aside, I don't know how this... What?
A disgraced former Los Angeles Laker, Derek Fisher.
Yes. And New York
He's
Knicks
coaching high school basketball, including Matt Barnes' kid.
Yeah. So I don't know if... I don't know how they went from him beating the shit out of... Well, I mean, I guess he didn't beat the shit out of him because I don't think that he ever had any like marks on his face or whatever. But it was documented that there were punches thrown. So now somehow he's coaching the kids. I guess they buried the hatchet and everything's good now. But that's not the story why he's a chump. That's part of the story. But so Matt Barnes was like the post-game desk guy for the Sacramento Kings. And he just got fired because he was at the kids' basketball game and he was yelling at the ref. And I guess he does this all the time. He yells at the ref. He curses at the opposing players or whatever. The guy's out of his fucking mind. And the student, 17-year-old kid who was calling the game, I think he just looked in his direction, but Barnes... He must have CTE because all this stuff is verifiable through video. Like, it's 2024. You can't just lie about things. There's proof. His excuse was that the kid told him to sit his ass down or something along those lines. The kid didn't say a word. He just looked in his direction. He comes over. He puts his hand on the kid, 17-year-old kid. He says he threatens to slap the shit out of him.
Really?
Yeah. And the guy's like, can you please stop touching me or whatever? I mean... That's pretty much the extent of the story. He ended up getting fired from his job with the Kings. But then he lies about what happened. He said the kid, was shit talking him and no such thing happened.
He was like a prominent figure on like the Sacramento Kings like TV network.
Yeah. He was like the Wally Zerbiak of the King. And he has a podcast. He does a podcast with Steven Jackson, who was another
that's a
fucking
duo.
badass, yeah. But they're pretty, like, their podcast is pretty good. They're well spoken. They do some good interviews and stuff. He seems on the podcast. I've listened to it a couple of times. He seems like he has it together. But then I guess the camera goes off and he's just like out of his mind. He just forgets that people are watching. Yeah, but chump.
All right, chump of the week, Matt Barnes.
And then, did you do a chump yet?
Yeah.
Okay, and yes. I'll do one more chump. I was gonna say Rick Pitino for calling out his players. You're familiar with that whole thing.
Yeah,
he kind of backtracked on that. So I'm not gonna call him a chump. I think he kind of made that. All right, I think this is a better chump. So also in basketball news, Kevin Durant was coming out of the tunnel for the Suns Dallas game in Dallas, and it was before the arena was filled up, so it was pretty empty. And these two, I keep fucking spitting all over the mic. Oh no! What the hell happened?
He's out.
What the fuck happened here?
That's right. You can just put it back in.
I see you guys.
Oh wait, he's there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I can hear you. I saw that come up. I can hear you guys.
Sorry, it froze for a second. It said the session ended. Anyway.
It's Zoom telling you that you...
I paid for the fucking thing. How are they going to do this?
Zoom telling you stories are too long. Well, your session has expired.
They're good stories. All right, I'm going to wrap it up right now. So he comes out of the tunnel. There's like two inbred looking fucking mutant human beings behind the one of the baskets. The woman who I don't even know how to describe her, just complete trailer trash, yells, "Durant, you're a bitch." He stops short from running out, goes back, confronts them, says, "Why you calling me a bitch? Why you calling me a bitch?" And she tries to reverse course, tries to dap him up. You can tell they're both so starstruck that he's so close to them now that all of a sudden, and just, I don't know. It's you gotta watch the video. It's a hard watch. And then the guy's trying to make friends with him. He's like, "I have a podcast." He's gonna come on his podcast or something. And then he just walks away. He's like, whatever. But he could have got them thrown out. He didn't get them thrown out.
The fans.
What?
Not Kevin Durant.
The fans.
The Chumps are the fans?
The mutants.
Okay.
Yeah, the mutants.
The mutants. So he's got bums and mutants. All right.
Yeah. All sorts of creatures. And
Champ of the week, the bum. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So that's it.
All right.
I
gotta bounce here, gentlemen.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
I
appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks again, Mark.
I appreciate it. I wanted to get into a couple of conspiracy theories because I know that you like that stuff, but we're out of time. We'll save it for another day.
I could talk for another hour if I could.
We're wrapped up here. We're at maximum capacity.
Though I just want it on the record. So this was a. We'll do it again sometime, but this was This is a one-time thing. I appreciate you all, though.
Thank you. Thanks for filling in. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, appreciate you, bro.
It's good talking to you.
All right,
my man.
We'll wrap it up.
Catch you on the other side.
Yep. Follow the Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube. Till next time. Carry on.